Welcome back to your number one silent partner in retirement. That is long-term care. This is the session asking the question, how much of your savings are you going to pay for care? And we've looked at this mountain before. We're climbing up the mountain in our working years, rather. And we're at the top of the mountain 5 years before, 5 years after. We're making decisions because we're going to come down the mountain in retirement. And this retirement years could go 35 years. You know, the average age of people living is, say, 82, 84. All that says is 50% people live up to that time, and yet 50% go after that age. So don't bank on averages because it could be, you could be on the other side of the average. And so we've got decisions to be making up here, and the health care decision that we're making today is long-term care and how it's going to come out of your retirement nest egg. We looked at this before, where we briefly touched on state Medicaid. State Medicaid will pay for long-term care. Here in the state of Washington, you got to spend your assets down to $2,000. And you get to keep a house, get to keep one car for a healthy spouse, and you get to keep a little monthly income for the healthy spouse. If that's you, sign up, spend it down, and let the state Medicaid help you out from there. Oftentimes, a lot of financial planners and attorneys are actually working people towards this, and I will say that it's not going to be a pretty situation moving forward because look at the state Medicaid system today, and then roll ahead with those data that we're looking at with all the retirees coming down the pike, everybody being unprepared, and look to see what the system looks like in 15 years. You know, I work through this with all my clients, this little module here that I've developed over the years where we have our income coming down each and every month. And we have our monthly lifestyle. Some people like to live on $5,000 a month. Some people live on $6,000. Some people live on $3,500. All different kinds that people live to make their life go round. But we also have our Social Security going on. If we're married, we got a second Social Security going on. Maybe we have a pension going on. All this income is streaming through here nicely. When a care situation happens, most people believe that they're going to be pulling it from their liquid funds. This is where it's going to be coming directly out of their 401k, IRA. The money opens up and down the drain it comes. The number one person that's got his hand out to receive all that money and wants to take a look at it before you can get a hold of it is going to be Uncle Sam. He's going to want his portion, and all this is being taxed at 100% of it's being taxed. Isn't that nice? Your Social Security, only 85% of it's being taxed or less, but this money coming out for that you're taking out each and every year is going to be taxed 100% of it coming out. And then, of course, you have to ask, we're not going to go into today, is where you think income taxes rates are going. But anyway, this is the source of where people think they're going to pay for care. So here's our potential money buckets right here, right? And so where do you have your money? We're going to call these money buckets. Why? Bucket number one is the things that have been tax deferred. You have not had to pay taxes on it while you were working, and now you're going to pay taxes on it in retirement. This would be something along the lines of your IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, 457s, etc. Those are the majority of where retirement savings, people have their retirement savings sitting there. Then we have our taxable bucket. This would be stuff that you get a 1099 at the end of the year, and you're only taxed on the growth. And so oftentimes there may be some investment accounts, maybe some bank accounts, etc. This is something that in my dealings with people, they don't have quite as much in there because they have pushed in their working years most into this first bucket. And then we got this bucket on the far right, tax-free bucket. This is money that's sitting there. Yes, it's going to come in the form of a Roth. There's other kinds as well. I'll tell you over here too, you could also have an insurance policy over here, right? Even a long-term care policy. That would be sitting over here as well, because when money comes out for that, it's going to be 100% tax-free coming out of an insurance policy. And so the question is what are the implications for you if you're deciding to take money out of your 401k, your IRA? What are the implications sitting here? Most people are not really understanding. They're not really understanding exactly what are the implications of pulling that money out of your 401k. So there's two things to consider. Number one, how much does it cost you to pay for care? What are you going to pay the nursing facility? And what is Uncle Sam going to take? That's question number one. Question number two is going to be how much is left for your spouse? Because remember, that money is there to live on, right? It's your money there for income. The money's not there technically. You never put that money in there while you're working to say, oh, I'm going to pay for care out of that funds. No, you didn't do that. You're putting money into those retirement savings, those tax qualified monies that are there because you said, I need to live on income in the future. But basically, just asking ourselves, if you're 65 right now and you say, I need to have care at 75 and my money over here is growing at 4% rate of return and I already need $5,000 per month. You have $800,000 sitting here. Maybe you've got $800,000 sitting in your retirement savings. Okay. and you say in 10 years at age 75, I'm going to have a long-term care thing that says it's going to go on for 3 years. And I got my Social Security number 1, Social Security number 2, and maybe you even got a pension going on. That's good for you. Not too many people have pensions. So you got that income streams going on, and you got to also take your RMDs, your required minimum distributions. Well, we did the math, and we go, what if the cost of care is, say, $65,000 at 75 years old, which we saw earlier that it's going to be much higher because of the cost of care. But let's just play with this for a little bit. And let's say you have to pull out $15,000 for taxes. Now, that's in today's tax market. Now, if we want to talk about future income taxes, that's a whole nother episode we're going to have, because basically I'm going to spill the beans right here. That's silent partner number 2. Your second silent partner is the IRS, but that's a whole nother session. So we're going ahead, first year, we're going to go ahead and pull out 65 for the nursing facilities, and then we're going to go ahead and give the IRS 15. Second year, we pull out 65, give the IRS 15. Third year, 65, 15. All right. So how does that all math out? What is the cost coming out of there? Well, you have to jump over here and we say, oh, look at that. We paid $195,000 for the cost of care. Is that a real number? That's a pretty fair number looking at down the road. How much did you pay the IRS? Well, $43,000. So a grand total of $238,000 came out of your 401k, IRA, your tax qualified money. How do you feel about that? That's a tremendous cost right there. It's one thing to be paying $195,000 out of non-qualified money, but to pay the IRS $43,000 on top of it, that's the true cost of care when you combine the paying the facilities and paying the IRS as well. So get a hold of that. What is the true cost of care to you when you pull it out of your IRA, when you pull it out of your 401k, or you pull it out of your 403b, etc.? What is the true cost of care?